You love yourself unconditionally and fully accept every part of yourself. Your potential is unlimited. You can do anything. You can do anything. So how the heck do you do that? How the heck do you get to that point of like full self-acceptance, of true unconditional self-love? Well, I can't tell you what's going to work for you, but I can tell you what has worked for me. And maybe you'll find a little nugget of inspiration, of, something that unlocks something within you. The first thing you have to do, though, you have to be willing to look at all of the parts of you. All of the things that you feel some sort of shame around, you feel triggered by, the things that you don't like about yourself, the things that you don't like about in others. Like notice what you're noticing. Okay? Like, what do you see in other people? Are you looking at everyone's flaws? Are you pointing out all the things that annoy you about people, the things that rub you the wrong way? That is a reflection back to you, to look within and ask yourself, what is that showing me about what I believe about myself, or what I fear about myself, or what I am hiding from within myself, right? And sometimes this is ancestral. Sometimes it's not even about us, but there's something that is like being held in our DNA, because it's science, guys, okay? Like, I'm not gonna get into that whole thing, but like, we carry the wounds and the gifts of our ancestors until somebody, aka you've come into this life, you have come into this life with the knowing and understanding, and you've volunteered to come and heal some stuff from your lineage, right? Like, as part of your mission. And if that doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. This may not be for you. I love you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. But if that does resonate with you, stick around, okay? Because the things that are coming up in you, the things that are triggered in you by other people or by circumstances or by whatever is coming up for you from within, like, that is information of something that wants to be seen so that it can be felt, so that it can be healed and released, so you can take the lesson and release the shadow of it, okay? So you can shine the light on the shadow, so you can move forward from a really healed place, all right? Because everything has a shadow and a light aspect. Everything does. Every trait that you have, every characteristic that you have can be a strength or a weakness. You just have to choose where you're putting your attention, okay? So, and this is what shadow work is. When people talk about shadow work, right? Like, that is what this is. It is being willing to take everything that is coming into your field and notice how it's landing for you. Anytime that you're triggered by something, anytime that something activates something in you, anytime that you feel yourself feeling an emotion, that is information that you can look at from an objective perspective. Pull back and be the observer and look at this from an objective perspective, because we put meaning on things. Everything is inherently neutral until you put meaning on it. So when you are allowing yourself to pull back, zoom out, and see this from like a bird's eye view without any skin in the game, right? Like, you're just taking this as an objective observer, and you ask yourself, what is actually happening here? And how am I responding, though? Like, how am I feeling about this? And so now that feeling, the response or the reaction, the involuntary reaction, the trigger, is the information. So if you feel like, if you see somebody who is just, let's say that they're showing up really loud and proud and as themselves, and maybe that's a little bit like unconventional, right? And that's annoying to you. You're like, oh, that's so cringe. Okay, well, it's not cringe. They're being themselves. They're doing what's making them happy. Why does that feel cringe to you? Do you feel like you cannot do that? Do you feel like you cannot show up authentically? Do you feel like you will be judged for that? Because you're judging somebody for that, right? So it's like, if you truly pull back and ask yourself, what is that actually about? Or if you get triggered by, if you have like road rage, right? And it's like somebody cuts you off, and you don't actually know this person. You don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what was going through their head. You don't know if that was intentional or not, right? But you immediately assume that person's an asshole and that person did that on purpose just to spite me, right? What is that saying about you and your beliefs of the world? What is that saying about you and how you think other people are perceiving you? So this is all information for you to go within and ask yourself about. And the more that you can do that without judgment, because that's the key here. We all do this stuff, okay? But once you start to be aware of it, that is where your choice comes in. And you always have a choice. If you're operating out of this in a subconscious way and you're just reacting, okay, that's a different thing. But once you become aware, then you have to make the choice to do something different. But you have to make that choice without coming at yourself with judgment or shame. Okay, so you have to understand, this is coming from a place, from a wound. I'm acting this way, I'm responding this way, I'm feeling this way because there is a part of me that feels afraid of rejection, of being hurt, of not being loved, of not being worthy, whatever it is. Like, that's coming from a fear or a pain point, a wound, whether it is mine or ancestral. And so I'm going to meet that part of myself with so much love and compassion and acceptance and give them all of the things they feel like they don't deserve or are not worthy of or are not going to get. Because then we retrain their response. They now see, oh, you know what, actually, when this happens, I am not met with that response. I'm actually met with love and acceptance and kindness and compassion. And then it retrains that and it reprograms that. It recodes that part of your DNA to see the other side, which is actually things can be good and things can feel good and I am safe and I am allowed to be me and I'm allowed to feel safe and I'm allowed to feel supported and I'm allowed to be loved and feel worthy, all the things, right? And the more you do this, every single time something like this comes up, the more you start to recode and the more you start to heal and the more you start to feel safe within yourself. And it doesn't feel like a constant battle within and like the internal and the external. You're not fighting this war anymore. You're just calm. And because you know that you love yourself through everything. You love all parts of yourself. You have seen all parts of yourself. And whatever comes up, you know that it's not from a place of like whatever the ideas are. Like it's all from a place of fear and of ignorance or of a past wound. Like it's never coming from a place of malice. Like when you have these things, there's always something deeper, right? So when you can understand that about yourself and come to full acceptance about all that is within and just love and accept all parts of yourself, then you can move forward and start to show that out in the world. You can show up as that person in the world. And anything that happens externally, now you understand that it's not about you. Just as all the things you're feeling about the world around you is not about the world around you, it's about how you feel within. That's the same, that is true for every single other person on this planet. So now you can see the world and live in the world and operate in the world through the lens of like, it's not about me. Other people's responses to me, their reaction to me, their opinions of me, it's not about me, it's about them. And so I can feel safe knowing that I love me and I know my intentions and I know my heart and I know who I am. So I'm going to show up as me. And however anybody else wants to react to that is about them. I am detached from that. I put my work out there. I put myself out there. I put my energy out there. I put my light out there from a place of love and understanding and compassion for myself. And how that's received by anybody else is not my business. That is their journey to go on. And I am meant to activate people for whatever needs to be activated within them just by showing up as me. And that is part of my journey walking this earth, right? Just like everybody else is. And everybody who has crossed your path and activated something in you has been an invitation for you to look within, to do this work, to grow and evolve and elevate and come home to yourself and love yourself more. Everything is a mirror. Everything is a mirror, right? So that's how I've done it. But it comes from a place of non-judgment. There cannot be judgment there. Everybody is going through something. Everybody has been through something. Everybody has these ancestral wounds in their DNA, the intergenerational trauma they're carrying with them. Everybody has that. So when you can have compassion for that and just know that we're all just these little kids trying to figure it out and trying to be accepted and loved, and we get hurt along the way, and then we learn to hide and like try to protect ourselves, and that's how we operate in the world. If you can meet everybody and like talk to their inner child and love them through that lens, the world becomes a much more beautiful place and you become a much more understanding person. And it's because you love yourself. It's because you love yourself and you love the world. because you are the world and the world is you.